Welcome back, everybody. My name is TJ Michelli. I am the author of the Christian fantasy book series, the Duel Saga. Today, we're going to be talking about the search for meaning in the music of your story. Now, this is less applicable to something like a novel, but it's really super applicable to movies and TV shows. So this is mostly just a thought experiment for us little people. But if you're a filmmaker watching this, please take this into account. If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I love the books and I love the movies. We're not going to talk about the Hobbit trilogy, those are different, okay? The Lord of the Rings films are really good. But growing up, it was really Star Wars for me. That was what really got me into imaginative fiction. It was sort of a, well, George Lucas himself says that Star Wars is really a fantasy story, but it has a definite sci-fi, well, they call it a space opera, don't they? But it has a definite sci-fi flavor because of the technological aspects of the stories, of the world, I should say. But in Star Wars, I really got a look at storytelling, and I think that there is some good storytelling to be had in Star Wars. Maybe not to the same depth as Lord of the Rings, but there's certainly good things there, even in the prequels. In The Lord of the Rings, whenever you hear a choir singing in the background and you hear words and syllables going, those are actual words. It's usually in Sindar or Sindarin or one of Tolkien's languages. Not English languages, like a language that Tolkien built because he was a freaking philologist. He loved to create languages. And whenever Lord of the Rings has a song being sung in the background with words in it, it always has meaning. It's one of the great things I love about the Lord of the Rings. The elves singing Lament for Gandalf in the background when the Fellowship is in Lothlorien in Fellowship of the Ring, they're actually singing lyrics, and it's beautifully profound. I don't want to get copyright struck, so go watch the video yourself, link in description. Or how about the chanting in the background when Frodo and Gollum are fighting over the ring inside Mount Doom? Those are actual lyrics with meaning. Check this out. Let me read the English lyrics for you. What's being sung in the background while Frodo is dealing with the ring inside Mount Doom is, "Only thus will its power be undone. Into the fires of Orodruin the one must be cast. This is the price that must be paid. Only thus will its power be undone. Only thus will a great evil be unmade. There is no other choice. There is no other way. One of you must bring it. One of you must pay. Only thus will a great evil be unmade. There is no other choice. One of you must bring it. One of you must pay. The one must be cast. Only thus will a great evil be unmade." Now, if you are a Lord of the Rings lore geek like I am trying to become, and you will probably already know that part of the magic of the One Ring was that no living being in Middle-earth could possibly have thrown the ring into the crack of doom. Tolkien actually made this clear at one point. Was it in one of his letters? I got this from, I think, In Deep Geek. I might try to track down that video. But no living being in Middle-earth could possibly have thrown the ring in. Not Sauron, not Gandalf, not Elrond, not even Galadriel could have thrown the ring into the crack of doom. It was part of the magic of the One Ring itself. So when the song says, "This is the only way that the ring can be destroyed," as if the destroyer is also destroyed, as if the one throwing the ring into the fire also goes into the fire, is fascinating. Now, does that mean that's exactly what Tolkien envisioned for this scene? Not necessarily. I don't know about that one. I'm not saying it's not true, but I don't know. If someone does know for sure, put it in the comments down below. Is it interesting, though? It absolutely is. Does it add a lot of depth to the movie scene? Yes, it does. So as I was learning about songs of this kind, I went back to Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I went to the Duel of the Fates, where Darth Maul is battling Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And there are some lyrics playing in the background of that fight, so I looked up the lyrics, only to find out that the story behind the lyrics, only to find out that the lyrics are actually untranslatable, because John Williams took an old poem about trees, translated that into Sanskrit, paraphrased the Sanskrit into basically gibberish, and then used that for the background vocals, which I found immensely disappointing. It's such a profound scene. It's so I want the scene's song to also carry a deep meaning, but it didn't. So I decided to attempt something. I decided to give the song a meaning. The song really only has 8 distinct words, and these words get repeated in various phrases over and over throughout the song. The 8 words are Kora, Mata, Ratama, Yuda, Siado, Danya, Nyoha, Kila. The song's title is Duel of the Fates, so there's some kind of element of destiny that needs to be reflected in this song. And all of this is trying to represent my thought process in making it. I'm not making the lyrics now, I already did that, like a long time ago. But I want to show you kind of my thought process. And the duel is not just between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Darth Maul. It's not even just between the Jedi and the Sith, but it's the darkness and the light. They're presenting 2 distinct destinies. If Darth Maul wins, then that's going to set Anakin on the path to the dark side. If the Jedi prevail, then that will set Anakin on the path toward the light. Well, ultimately, it's kind of both, isn't it? Because Darth Maul does actually prevail, in a sense, but then the Jedi also prevail in a sense because Obi-Wan Kenobi ultimately cuts down Darth Maul. There's a whole other video I can do about my theories and thoughts on Qui-Gon Jinn's role in the overall Star Wars saga. I think he's actually probably the 2nd most important character in the entire saga, but I can make that argument in a later video. For now, let's focus on our lyrics. So what I did was I took all my thoughts about the song, and I looked at these 8 terms, right? These terms. And I tried to think, and I looked at their arrangements and all their phrases throughout the song, and I tried to play around with some definitions here and there and assign the definitions in a way that they all made sense with each other in their contexts throughout the song. So here are those 8 definitions. These are the definitions. You'll notice that as the song plays, there will be much fewer words in this version of the song than the English lyrics reflect. I had to work with what I had. There are only 8 words in the song, and I had to give it meaning somehow. So I had to expand on the skeleton that the words built. But I actually have a fan fiction lore explanation for this. That is that this poem was inscribed on the 4th Jedi temple ever constructed. It was a vision, a prophecy of sorts. It was written down in a poem. But the poetical style of the period and the culture was for the poet to write things down in, a skeleton, a skeletal form, just the basic terms of what's going on. But then the tradition around the poem is what gives the skeleton flesh. It's kind of like hearing kind of an interesting song from a certain band and going, oh wow, that's a good song. And then finding out all the details about the singer-songwriter's dead father and what that loss meant to the songwriter. And you go through all these things and you're going, oh my gosh, that part of the story ties into this lyric, and this thing over here, it does that, and wow, this song is way deeper than I thought. And so the idea is that the song and its depth are actually 2 different things. And so that's going on in Kora Mata. That's going on in Duel of the Fates here in my version, is that there's a skeletal framework of lyrics that then the depth of meaning comes from elsewhere to give us the full meaning of the poem. I realize that that's kind of ad hoc. It's kind of, it borders on a similar concept as plot armor. It's kind of contrived, I know. But I have to make some kind of lore explanation for why the lyrics are kind of, numerically mismatched. Without further ado, let's take a look at those new lyrics. Obviously, for copyright reasons, I can't play the entire song without taking a massive risk. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to black out the screen, and I'm going to display the lyrics in time with the song, all right? So that if you press play on your music player at the same moment that the word play appears on screen, The lyrics will display at the appropriate times for the entire song. So find the track Duel of the Fates from the Star Wars The Phantom Menace movie soundtrack. Find that track and get it loaded up, and when the screen goes black and you see the word play flash on screen, press play, and it will be synchronized with the rest of the video. So yeah, we're going to look at the lyrics with their new meanings. I think that this could have been part of Star Wars from the very beginning, like it was in the Lord of the Rings films, but it just wasn't. But here we go. Get ready to press play on your music player. Here we go. So maybe you like the lyrics, maybe you don't. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I love these lyrics. I think they turned out great. If you have thoughts, suggestions, make those in the comments down below. Share the video, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the usual YouTube-y things. I had a lot of fun making this. I love Star Wars. It's a part of my fictional development as a person, as an author. A lot of it goes back in its inception to Star Wars. So I have a great debt to George Lucas and what he's built over there with Star Wars, or at least what it used to be. And if you're going to make some kind of movie or show and you want to put choir music in the background, please give it meaning, at least a little bit, so that you can give your viewers that much of a deeper experience. It's not that hard to do. Just give it, like with Sin Edio, like with the chant in the background of the Crack of Doom. It's not a super complicated song. Just make something up. It'll deepen your story. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one.